Hi, in this video I'm going to be doing some short videos on some of the meals that I've prepared and some things that I've made using the Thermomix. So the first recipe that I want to try is something called berry foam. Now I know it sounds a little bit odd, and I think from the look of it, it will be like a berry mousse. And the reason I've chosen that, because I've got quite a lot of cranberries. So at the moment these are fresh, and for the process to work they need to be frozen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these in the freezer overnight. The recipe is for around 500 grams. So I've measured out, well, I've got some in the freezer already. I'm going to pop these in to top it up to 500. But I will just say, I know some of you are thinking, why have I got this apron on? Now, I just want to say I'm not being sponsored by this. I'm not being paid for this at all by Thermomix. This is just an apron that was included with it. And I thought, while I'm cooking, I'm going to do a couple of recipes. Why not don the apron? Anyway, let me know what you think about it. If you think I look a bit of a wally or a bit of an idiot, let me know in the comments. If you think it looks alright, then let me know as well. For this recipe to work, I've put some of the berries in the freezer, so they should be frozen by the morning. I will say, I do record some of my videos at completely random times of the day. Quite a lot of the other product videos I record are recorded quite early in the morning. I tend to get to work around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, start to get them recorded. This one is completely opposite end of the day. I'm recording this at the moment at 5 to 11 at night. I just wanted to get the berries frozen overnight, so by the morning when I start to make this red berry or berry foam as they're calling it, then they should be frozen and ready to make. Ideally I want it for a breakfast, but what I do need to do is I just need to pasteurise 2 eggs. Now I must admit I haven't pasteurised eggs before. It's quite a new concept for me, but the first thing I need to do is to wash the eggs, and then we need to pasteurise the eggs within the Thermomix. So I'll quickly show you how to do this, because as I say, it's something I haven't done before, but it's quite an easy process in the Thermomix. So all I want to do is I just want to select I'm just going to select the scales for now. I'm sure there are quite a few different ways of doing this process, but again, I try to work things out for myself. I just think it's a little bit more fun than following the instructions all the time. So as you can see here, I've got the scales. So I'm just going to put in, there should be 1100, so it's 1135 grams of water. So just fill that up again. So I'm impressed how accurate it needs to be. So once we've got the water in, I'm just going to pop the lid on there like that. Just make sure that's located fully in place. And from here, what I need to do is I need to select. So first of all, it needs to be on for 15 minutes. So let's just turn that so that it says 15 minutes, which way are we going? That's it. 15 minutes, needs to be 60 degrees. So let's turn that to 60 degrees and then speed 3. Speed 3, right. And then all I need to do is I just need to let that go. So leave it for the 15 minutes. When the temperature reaches 60 degrees, then all I need to do is to pasteurise the eggs for 3.5 minutes. But I think what I want to do at the moment is I just want to wait for the water to get up to 60 degrees. I must say, I mean, this is actually the first time I've heard it in operation, even though I'm recording this quite late at night, and I must admit the kids are upstairs, asleep. It is pretty quiet. Hopefully you can hear, or I'm sure you will be able to hear the noise of it, but I'm quite happy for this to be on while the kids are asleep upstairs. So what I've done now is I've actually popped the eggs in. I've reduced it down to 3.5 minutes because it got up to temperature really quickly, up to 60 degrees. I've reduced it down to 0.5. It was on 3 for the rotation of the blade, but I've reduced it down to 0.5 as per the instructions. And it just says to set it for about 3.5 minutes. So I've just set that to go, And as soon as that's finished, what you need to do is you need to take the eggs out and then pop them into cold water, because you just need to stop the cooking process. And then once they're done, then they are completely pasteurised. So here we go. This is just about to finish. It even sings a little song to tell us when it's finished. Okay, there we go. So all I need to do now is to take the lid off. We do need to remove the eggs straight away. And fortunately, they're not hot, they're just really warm. So I just take those out, pop them in some cold water, then as per the instructions. So there we go. Just let it know that I know it's finished, because clearly the Thermomix, put my teeth back in, the Thermomix doesn't know that I'm stood right by it. I could be out in another room. So it's good that it carries on telling me, because there's nothing more frustrating than something that's finished cooking, especially these eggs, where they need to be taken out straight away. They can't carry on cooking. So all I've done, taken them out, pop them in some cold water, completely stop the cooking process. Anyway, it's quite late at night, it's gone 11 o'clock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get stuff sorted out and try and get tidied up a little bit. But I'm glad I've got the berries in the freezer ready for the morning, and I've got the eggs pasteurised. So I'm just going to get sorted out, and I'm going to get some sleep ready to make the berry foam in the morning. So what I've done is that I've just started the recipe for the berry foam. Now all I've done so far is I've put the sugar in here, and I've just set it to grind. So that's ground for, it's only about 12 seconds. So I've put 140 grams of sugar in there. Now what I need to do is to get the berries. So I'll just show you these. These are the berries that I was talking about last night that I had frozen. And what I need to do is to carry on with the recipe. So next, so add 500 grams of mixed frozen red berries, or any frozen fruit in here. So let's just take the lid off. Now I will just show you this. So it's just normal sugar that I got in there. Now you can see that it's ground it, and that, hopefully you can see that, look at that. That is completely different to how it went in. I'm really impressed. Anyway, so we just need to make sure that you press that button there. It just resets it. So add 500 grams. So that is 192. Just need to be careful not to overdo it. I won't need all of these in there. $4.99. Tell you what, let's pop one more in, and there we go, 501. That's as good as it's going to get. I'm not going to cut a berry in half to get it down to 500 grams. So now we've done that, we need to add some lime or lemon juice. So I must admit, I'm going to use some lemon juice. This is something that I've got in anyway. Let's pop some in here. There we go. So 21 grams. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it up to 30 grams because I do prefer it a quite light lemon juice. So now we've done that. Next, so 2 egg whites pasteurised. You will see yesterday that I did do the egg whites. So I actually made the eggs. I did leave them in here, so I've left them in the glass jar. I suppose just so they didn't fall off and break. So I'm just going to separate the eggs and then get the egg whites and pop them into the container. So there we are. There's the 2 egg whites just going in there. Now next. And the next stage is to insert the spatula through the hole in the mixing bowl lid and turn it while blending. So we just need to take the lid off, pop that to the side for a moment. Just get the spatula, that's included with the Thermomix. I'm just going to pop that on top there, I don't want anything to come out. Next, turn speed selector to start. Oh, here we go. that's done. That's looking pretty good inside. So next, what do we need to do? Oh, insert the butterfly whisk. Let's just pop the spatula to the side. So, oh, that is looking really good. Anyway, the butterfly whisk, that's this cheeky little device. Now, I did just have a look a moment ago and I wasn't sure whether I needed to take the blade out, but fortunately Thermomix have made it really easy for us, and all we need to do is just pop this on top of the blade. So I just need to put that on top, and now we're ready to move on to the next section. Insert the measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid. So let's just pop that back on. Pop those two on there like that, helps us get it the right way. There we go. Then turn speed selector to 3.5. I must admit, this is something I absolutely love about the display. It's giving you an accurate description as to the speed settings and everything. So I'm going to move this over to 3.5 in a moment, and it's going to basically rotate for 3 minutes. So at 3.5, there we go. And it's whisking for 3 minutes. There we go, so it's finished that. Next, remove the butterfly whisk. Oh, this is looking awesome. Honestly, that is just looking amazing. Now, I'm not sure what all of you are like when you were a kid, but I would never ever let that go to waste. So, I know you shouldn't really do it, but it's something I've always done as a kid. And even though I think I've grown up, but some people say I've not, especially people really close to me. They say I've not really grown up at all. But you're never going to wash that, are you? So what are you going to do? You're going to try that, and that just tastes awesome. Now, I know it's not very hygienic, but I promise I'm going to wash this properly after this. But that just tastes really, really nice. Anyway, another couple of licks. That has gone in to be washed. So, I've removed the butterfly whisk. Next, serve cold in dessert bowls. Garnish with 100 grams of mixed fresh red berries. So it's up to you how you serve it. Now, I'm just going to show you this. That is looking really awesome. So let me show you how they started. So not too long ago, they started as the cranberries, and now we've got a really, really nice berry foam, as it's called. Now I'm just going to serve it up into some bowls. I've got my lads waiting here at the moment for their dessert. At the moment we've had our dinner, so it's again pretty late in the evening. Well, I say late-ish, it's around 8:30 in the evening. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I actually want to get the lads, so I'm going to see their reaction, and I want to see what they think to the berry foam. Right, so I've managed to get the kids downstairs, and what we've got is I've just dished up 2 little, I suppose they're ramekins of the berry foam. There you go, chaps. So we've got a spoon each. I just want your opinion on it. So if you want to try it, this is so they've not tried it before. So this is cranberry, so it's like a berry dessert. So what's your opinion on it? What do you think?
It's very nice.
Very good? What do you think?
Good.
And the main advantage of this kind of dessert is that I know exactly what's gone into it. So as we mentioned earlier, the main advantage of making this kind of dessert is that if you've got somebody in the household that suffers with things like allergies, or if you've got things like intolerance where you need to know what's gone into the food rather than being processed, then this is a really good option using the Thermomix. So I think what I need to do is I need to go and dish myself up a dessert. But I think by the look of the way they're eating it at the moment, that's not going to last long. Thank you very much, guys. I must admit that pudding didn't last 2 minutes with the lads. They really enjoyed it. As much as I love to follow recipes, I love to follow the instructions, I do like to sort of diversify a little bit. And I do feel that it was quite taut. It just needed something a little bit to try and balance it out the other way. So what I've done is I've just got a little bit of chocolate. There's no mention of this at all in the recipe. I think it's just something that I'm going to try. This is whole nut chocolate. One of my friends, this is the favourite. So what I'm going to do, I'm not even going to bother to wash it. So this is the pan. I'm just going to pop it back on there. Just going to pop some chocolate in there. Break it up into small pieces. Doesn't need to be too small. Pop it in there. And this is really a trial, I suppose. I've not tried it to see if it'll work. So just put that on there. I've selected the blend option and hopefully this will work. So I'm just going to try it. So first of all, I'll just do it for 30 seconds. Now let's have a go to see how well this does. So let's see what this is like. Bit of a gamble. I must admit I've not actually tried this, but let's have a look. Now look at that. So that's chocolate. It's actually whole nut chocolate. And I must admit, this looks awesome. I'm just going to get a little spoon. Just try this. It looks spot on. Now that, I've got a couple of others in the fridge. Let me get those. So, I've got some other, it's not fancy, it's not posh, got some other ramekin dishes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some of this and just pop it on top of that. Now that, as a cheeky little dessert, let's have a look at that. Right, so personally I think that just finishes it off. So the berry foam itself is fantastic. I think all the chocolate will do is it just tries to balance it out a little bit. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it in the fridge, and then this is for something a little bit special. So I'm just going to put it in the fridge, make sure it stays nice and cool. Now I must admit, one thing that can be quite annoying with some gadgets around the household or in the kitchen is, are they easy to keep clean? Now I must admit, this is one thing I had a look at before I borrowed this, because what I don't want to do is to make a video or try and talk about it if it's quite difficult to keep clean. And I must admit, this is actually the opposite. The main thing is that what Thermomix have done is they've done their customer research. They found that people hate cleaning. I must admit, I don't like it. So all of these parts can either be put into a dishwasher or you can just wash them. As far as the blade at the bottom, so you can see here that's still quite mucky. When it comes to taking the blade out, because all of this is dishwasher safe, so it doesn't matter that it sits on to the main unit of the Thermomix, this can be put in the dishwasher. It is recommended to take it apart, and all you need to do is to twist the bottom like that. That just comes out. That can go in the dishwasher as well. And then the blade itself, you just pull out like that. Simple as. So really, really easy. I'd always recommend holding it by that bit. Ideally, you don't want to touch the blades, although, you know, clearly they will be sharp because they've got a job to do within the Thermomix. So just hold it like that, put that into the dishwasher, and then as you can see there, you've got a hole at the bottom. So depending on what you've got, if you've not got a dishwasher, then just pop it in the sink and just give it a really good soapy wash. If you have got a dishwasher, personally I'd recommend putting it in. Make sure it's nice and clean. You will see at the bottom here, you have got the electrical connections. The only thing I have been told is to make sure that all of this is completely dry before you go to use it again. So when you take it out of the dishwasher, don't put it on straight away. You will need to make sure that all of it is completely dry. But that's one thing, again, that's really good about the Thermomix. Next thing I want to make in the Thermomix are some boiled eggs. This is something that myself and my kids really enjoy. We've always called it a dippy egg. It's just something that we've named it as almost like a family tradition. And the idea is that we put it into a little egg pot, and when you cut the top off, it's nice and dippy inside, so you can put your soldiers in, or the slices of toast. So all you need to do is put around a litre of water into the Thermomix. It doesn't need to be in the basket, so you don't need to use the basket at the moment. So just place the eggs in there gently at the bottom, and I'm going to put 6 in because we do like a couple each. So I'm just going to place them in gently, hoping not to crack them. There we go, and let's pop the lid on there. There we go. So let's see if I can master this. Should really dry my fingers first. There we go. So what are we doing? We're looking for egg boiler, and then you need to decide how you want it to be cooked. If you look at the information, then I must say this is really good. So it says place 2 to 6 eggs, size medium. So I've put 6 eggs in so far, up to the litre mark. Place the simmering basket on the mixing bowl lid. Choose the simmering basket. So what I need to do is I need to change the lids. So what I'll do is I'll just go and get the other lid. Choose the desired cooking point. So what we need to decide is how you want it cooked. I think for me, we tend to like it more medium. So it's partly soft yolk. So I'm going to select medium on these, especially as a couple of them are a little bit larger as well. So I've got the simmering basket, and that just gets popped on top there. It does say in the instructions just to put that on top. I don't need to do anything else. So all I need to do now is to select the medium. That's the setting that I want, and that's going to say, so it's saying approximately 12 minutes. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that to do its thing, and that's it. It's cooking away. It almost seems too simple, I'll be honest. I get a bit nervous sometimes when something seems too good to be true. But this is one time I did have to refer to the instructions. It just shows a list of all the contents that come with it. But I'm getting used to it. I must say these instructions are pretty good. But anyway, I'm just going to leave it to cook and then come back and see how it is. There we are. So you can see that this is finished now. Let's just press the button. There we go. So it's just stopped the noise. Just saying on here, pour the mixing bowl contents into the simmering basket, which is here. So I'm going to do that in a moment over the sink. And run cold water over the eggs to stop them cooking. That's something I need to do now. So I'm just going to, again, pause the video and then get the eggs sorted. So now that the eggs are done, I'm just going to take the top off. I know it's not the best way of doing it. I'm sure I'll get ridiculed here for how I'm doing it, but I'm in a little bit of a rush this morning. So let's just see how it is. I have left them a little bit too long, I must admit, and you can see that the egg is perfectly cooked inside. Personally, I think it's a little bit cooked too much, and I wouldn't say that's a fault with the Thermomix at all. That's because I left these a little bit too long. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do 2 recipes at the same time. But this, I can tell it's still really hot, even though I've left it for several minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and enjoy the breakfast with my lads and come back later.